everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from a house that everyone knows. The house is called Thierry Mugler, but this is their exceptional line, their more high-end line, if you will. And the fragrance we're going to review today is called Cuir Impertinent. Now, Cuir Impertinent, this one was released along with a couple others last year in 2015. So this is a relatively new release. It's a newer release, or I guess you could say a newer delving from the house of Thierry Mugler into like a higher fabric of fragrance, if you will. So this one is supposed to be marketed towards the upper echelon, and I was really excited to actually get my hands on it and see what Mugler would consider a higher end fragrance, just because even their base designers, or Pure Malt, Angelman, those fragrances usually run for around $90. And this one, for a 2.7, it's going to run you about $225. And of course, with most Mugler bottles, they're all refillable. This one is refillable as well too. You can find this on their website. I think you can also find it at Nordstrom's. So do some shopping around if this piques your interest after this review. All right. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive right into the notes for this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have star anise. Our mid, tobacco, and for our base we have leather and amber. Alright, so very simple notes, very simple lineup there. What did this thing actually smell like? So true to the notes that are in there, you can actually smell each and every single one of those notes in it, and it combined to form something that actually smells, it reminded me heavily of the original Angel from Thierry Mugler. It's the one that's more marketed towards women. It's the Angel line coming from it. This one, on the other hand, as its name Cuir implies, which is leather, for those of you who don't know, this is a leather-based fragrance. And when you immediately spray it, the first thing that I really smell is the star anise. It really does come off at the top. And star anise really reminds me, at least, of licorice. So I'm getting a sweeter licorice type smell off the top. And immediately after that, you start getting the leather. The leather is kind of like almost like an inside of a leather shoe, if you will, or a leather inside of a leather jacket, where it's kind of rough, and that's really the kind of leather smell that I'm getting from this one. That combined with the star anise gives it almost a sweetish leather, and that sweetish leather type of a scent kind of remains through it, but you also start to get a little bit more of a smokiness, which is coming from the tobacco. And I also suspect some of that sweetness is also coming from tobacco leaves, which can tend to be on the sweeter side when you smell them at times. So if you wanted a comparison to it, the sweetness in this reminds me of Pure Havane, for those of you who have smelled that from Thierry Mugler, where it kind of, some people might even think that it smells a little cherry-ish. So it's kind of like that cherry-ish sweetness that is coming from this scent. And as the fragrance kind of develops a little bit more, you start to get more of the amber. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to describe this as a sweet leather fragrance, and that's really what this kind of smells like overall. It's just a sweet, leathery scent, which is very appealing. It's a scent that definitely garners a good amount of attention because of the other distinguishing factor, which is its power. Now, the house of Mugler isn't known to shirk on the strength of its fragrances, and this fragrance is absolutely no exception at all whatsoever. So this fragrance's strength is such that you spray it on, 2 sprays, people are going to smell you a couple feet away, people are going to smell you as you pass by, you're going to leave a nice little scent trail as well too. So it's not shirking on that. As far as season goes, the season that you can definitely wear this one is fall and winter. This is a fall and winter scent. I think it's a little bit too heavy for the warmer months. So if you're going to wear it for the warmer months, just be aware of that and, dial it back down a little. Which, spray-wise, I go about 2-3 sprays. If you're going to wear it in the spring or summer, you might want to think about wearing it like 1 spray, if you will, and see how that does, as to not choke people out. As far as occasion goes, the one downsider with this is because it's that sweet leathery scent, I think it's a good night out scent. But that's pretty much about it. I can't imagine wearing this one to work. I wore it to work, it really didn't do that well. I didn't think it really fit. It was a little bit too aggressive for my taste for work. Date-wise, I think there are better date scents that are a little bit more appealing in a sexual nature or anything like that. This one, it is very appealing, but it just doesn't strike my fancy for that. People may completely disagree with me here on this one. Give it a try for yourself. See what you think about this. May be your date scent. All right. But either way, I really do think this is a great night out fragrance, but outside of that, I can't really think of any scenarios. Age group wise, I think any age group can pull this one off. This is one that can be had by a younger person or an older person. The only limiting factor, of course, would probably be the price. So just keep that in mind. Now, as far as compliments goes, I did get a compliment when I wore this one, and a lady wanted to know what I was actually wearing. I was actually in a meeting. She wanted to know what I was wearing, told her what I was wearing, and she said, oh, that smelled nice. Beyond that, though, no other compliments. It's not like she asked for not necessarily what it was, but it's not like she asked for where I could get it or where she could get it or anything. She just thought that it smelled nice on me. But I do think that this one runs a little bit middle range as far as compliments goes upon further testing. All right? So, if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating, a solid 8 out of 10. Now, I paused there for a second because I'd been waffling back and forth whether or not to give it an 8 or a 7. An 8 or a 7. If the things that are driving this thing down in terms of rating is the price and it's when you can actually wear it, right? Those are the two biggest strikes against this fragrance and why that I'm giving it an 8. Outside of that, this fragrance has performance. It smells good. I think that it's going to do pretty well in compliments as well too. Outside of those, and I think it's actually a bit unique smelling. If you're looking for a leather fragrance that's along the sweeter lines, take a look at this one. This is definitely a leatherish scent that people will probably not have smelled. Now, on further note on the downside is it really does in the extreme dry down after about 6-7 hours have gone by. It really does remind me of Pure Havane in that. So if you are not a fan of Pure Havane, this may not be one that strikes you. Imagine Pure Havane with leather instead. It's like they mixed Pure Havane and Pure Cuir or Pure Leather, and they're mashed together with a little bit higher quality, and that's what you're going to get with this scent. But that's pretty much it, all right? So let me know what your thoughts are. If you've tried this, let me know. Put a message down here if this has piqued your interest or anything like that. Or better yet, even if you wanted to get a sample of it, here's what you do. If you're going to purchase anything from the Mugler site, you're able to actually get little samples of their exceptional line. And that's the way that you can actually get samples for it, all right? So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.